18. That's how many cars Consumer Reports quietly took its recommendation away from this year. Yanked the badge right off the window sticker. These aren't fly-by-night brands either. We're talking Chevrolet, Ford, GMC, Buick, Audi, and more. Here's the number that should stop you cold. Across everything they surveyed, owners reported 204 problems for every 100 vehicles once the cars hit 3 years old. More problems than there are cars. Consumer Reports pulled that from roughly 380,000 vehicles, reported by the people who actually own them. Not a lab, not an ad, real owners, telling on their own cars. Now here's the reframe, and it's the whole reason I'm making this video. For 50 years, that recommended checkmark meant something. You could walk onto a lot, see the badge, and trust it. Your father did. You did. This year, they pulled it off cars that people are signing up to pay for over 7 and 8 years. You'll be making that payment long after the recommendation is gone and the transmission is acting up. I went through the whole report so you don't have to. 15 of those cars are named out in the open, and I'm going to count all 15 down for you, worst last. And number one is a truck millions of families trust, still being sold today, with a defect the maker admits it has no permanent fix for. It told the dealers to just clear the warning light and hand the keys back. We'll get there. If you're driving a paid-off older car right now, this list is your vindication. You already knew. Let's watch the data agree with you. Number 15, the Genesis GV80. We start in the luxury aisle because money doesn't buy you out of this. The GV80 is Genesis trying to fight the Lexus RX and the BMW X5, and on paper it's gorgeous, quiet, quick, beautifully built. Then you live with it. Owners told Consumer Reports about the screen going completely black while driving, cycling through a startup like a frozen laptop, then coming back on when it feels like it. Here's why that matters more than an annoyance. In a modern car, that screen isn't just the radio. It's your backup camera, your climate, half your controls. When the brain glitches, the whole nervous system stutters. Worse, owners report the whole vehicle going dead. Jump-started, towed to the dealer, dead again. That points at the 12-volt electrical system and the modules that never fully shut off, draining the battery overnight. A dead 12-volt battery is a $200 to $400 fix. A head unit that needs replacing runs $1,500 to $3,000. On a car that stickers near 90 grand, you'd expect better than a computer that reboots itself on the highway. The lesson at number 15 is simple. A luxury badge is not a reliability badge. Sometimes it's just a more expensive way to sit at the dealer. Number 14. The Genesis GV60. Stay with Genesis, but unplug the gas tank because this one's fully electric. The GV60 lost its recommendation on reliability, and the trouble clusters exactly where electric cars are still weakest. The EV battery, the charging system, the climate control, the infotainment. Put plainly, the parts that make an electric car electric are the parts owners are complaining about. Consumer Reports found that electric vehicles average around 80% more problems than a plain gas car. 80%. That's not a rounding error, that's a different league of headaches. And the repair math is what should scare a retiree. A glitchy touchscreen is a nuisance. A failing EV battery or charging system out of warranty is a $10,000 to $20,000 event, sometimes more than the used car is worth. You're not fixing that on a fixed income. You're walking away from the car or rolling it into another payment. Keep it simple and it'll last longer. The GV60 is the opposite of simple, and the survey shows it. Number 13. The Kia EV6. Kia's electric hatchback, and it's the second EV in a row for a reason. The pattern is the pattern. Same story as the Genesis, different badge. Owners reported battery trouble, charging trouble, and electrical accessories acting up. Let me give you the comparison that tells you everything. A plain Kia gas crossover, driven the same miles, will spend its early years boring you to death with how little goes wrong. This one had enough owner complaints that the most data-driven name in the business pulled its blessing. Same company, same factory quality. The difference is the electric drivetrain and all the new technology bolted to it. Here's the part nobody at the dealer mentions. When one of these electric systems fails after the warranty, there's no independent shop on the corner who'll touch it for cheap. You're back at the dealer, on their clock, at their price. New technology is a beta test. On the EV6, the owners are the testers, and the survey is the bug report. Number 12. The Kia EV9. Kia again, but now it's the big one. The 3-row electric family hauler, the one grandparents buy to load the grandkids into. And that's exactly why this one stings. The EV9 landed on the list with the same electric growing pains as its little brother. Battery, charging, power accessories, in-car electronics. Owners keep reporting the same categories of trouble over and over, which is what turns one unlucky car into a pattern the survey can see. Think about who this vehicle is sold to: a family that needs it to work every single morning, school run, doctor's appointment, the long drive to see the family. It cannot be the car that won't charge on the coldest day of the year, which is exactly when EV range and charging get worst. The fix for a failed charging module or a battery fault isn't a Saturday in the driveway. It's a tow, a service appointment weeks out, and a bill that starts in the thousands and climbs. If a 3-row is what you need, a boring gas or hybrid one from a top-rated brand will haul the same grandkids and let you forget it exists. That's the whole point of a family car. 4 cars in, and notice the theme already. The newest, most expensive, most electrified machines are the ones the data turned on first. Next up, that same electric trouble reaches a badge every American grew up trusting. Number 11, the Chevrolet Blazer EV. Here's the electric Blazer, and it lost its recommendation for the same reasons the imports did, which should tell you something. Owners reported the EV battery acting up, the climate control fighting them, and the screens freezing or shutting down mid-drive. In this car, that frozen screen is a bigger deal than most. Chevrolet moved almost everything onto the touchscreen. When it locks up, you're not just missing the radio, you're fumbling for basic controls at highway speed. This is the same company that built the small block V8 that runs forever, that built work trucks your uncle drove to 400,000 miles. They know how to make something last. They rushed the electronics anyway because everybody was racing to get an EV on the lot. The survey caught it. A frozen infotainment system that needs replacing is a $1,500 to $3,000 part, and on an EV, half the car's functions hide behind it. The bow tie has earned real trust over the decades. This wasn't the car to spend it on. Number 10, the Audi Q4 e-tron. Back to the luxury aisle and back to the same electric gremlins. Consumer Reports ranked Audi 13th as a brand this year, and the Q4 e-tron is a big reason why. Owners flagged the climate system, the electrical accessories, the in-car electronics, and yes, the EV battery and charging again. Notice we're 4 EVs deep now, and it's the same short list of complaints every single time. Battery, charging, climate, electronics. That's not 15 different problems. That's one immature technology wearing 15 different badges. The Audi twist is the repair bill. German luxury parts and German luxury labor were expensive back when these were simple gas cars. Now bolt on an electric drivetrain the independent shops can't service, and you've built a car that can only be fixed in one expensive place. Out of warranty, an electrical fault here doesn't ask permission before it empties your wallet. You're looking at 4 figures fast, and that's before anyone touches the battery. Premium badge, beta technology, boutique repair bill, 3 ways to lose on the same car. Number 9, the Mazda CX-90. Now we shift, because this one isn't fully electric. It's the plug-in hybrid, and it earns its spot a different way. A plug-in hybrid is the most complicated thing in any driveway. It has a full gas engine, a full transmission, an electric motor, a battery, and the brains to juggle all of it. Every one of those is a thing that can break. Owners told Consumer Reports about exactly that spread of trouble: the battery, the EV system, the steering, the suspension, power accessories, and interior electronics. Here's the comparison that makes the point. A plain gas Mazda is one of the more reliable things you can buy, and Mazda as a brand scores well. Add the plug-in complexity, and the same company's car falls off the recommended list. You didn't get a more reliable car by adding the electric parts. You got 2 power systems that can each strand you, wrapped in one expensive package. A steering or suspension repair on this runs $1,200 to $2,500. The hybrid drivetrain, if it acts up out of warranty, is a $2,000 to $5,000 guessing game. The simpler the car, the longer it lasts. This is the opposite of simple, sold as an upgrade. Number 8, the Hyundai Kona. Here's a car a lot of you actually shopped because it's cheap, it's small, and Hyundai's been on a roll. The Kona still landed on the list. Consumer Reports pulled its recommendation on below-average reliability, and it's the reminder that an affordable price tag doesn't buy you out of trouble either. Now here's my question for you, and I want you to drop it in the comments before you scroll on. Which of these cars is sitting in your driveway right now, or your son's or your neighbor's? Name it below. I read them, and so do the folks trying to decide what to avoid. Because that's the whole point of a video like this. Consumer Reports has the survey. You've got the driveway. Between the two, the truth comes out. The Kona's trouble is the ordinary kind that adds up. Little electrical faults, things that send you back to the dealer for a day you didn't plan on. Not a catastrophe, just a car that nickels and dimes the time and money you don't have to spare. For not much more thought, a top-rated small car from Toyota or Honda does the same job and never makes you learn your service advisor's name. That's the last of the imports and the electrics. From here down, it's the heart of the American driveway. And it's where this list stops being about far-off technology and starts being about the trucks and SUVs parked on your street. Number 7, the GMC Terrain. A compact GMC SUV, the kind of sensible, mid-size, do-everything vehicle that should be bulletproof. It's not. The Terrain lost its recommendation, and the headline problem is the transmission. Owners reporting shifts that don't feel right, hesitation, the kind of behavior that makes your stomach drop because you know what a transmission costs. Here's what makes this one sting. The old GMC in your memory, the simple one with a proven engine and a transmission that just worked, that's the reputation this badge is coasting on. The new one traded that simplicity for more gears, more electronics, more ways to fail. A major transmission repair or replacement is a $3,500 to $7,000 event. On a vehicle in this price class, that's a huge chunk of what the whole thing is worth. When a modern automatic starts hunting between gears, that's not a quirk you drive through. That's the car telling you the most expensive part it owns is getting tired. Number 6, the Chevrolet Equinox. Now the big seller. The Equinox is everywhere, one of the most common affordable SUVs on the road, which means when it has trouble, a lot of people feel it. Same core problem as its GMC cousin because underneath, they're close relatives. Transmission complaints, plus a run of electrical gremlins, warning lights, accessories that quit, the electronics acting up. Consumer Reports scored the Equinox well below average, and that's the pattern showing its hand. When two related models from the same maker both fail the same way, that's not a bad luck car. That's a design that shipped with a weak spot baked in. Picture the retiree who bought one because it was affordable, and the badge felt safe. Now it's in and out of the shop during the exact years it was supposed to be carefree. The check engine light becomes a monthly visitor. The repair math is the same brutal number as the Terrain's transmission, so I won't repeat it, but stack the electrical faults on top, and you've got a car that keeps finding new ways to cost you a day and a deductible. Affordable to buy is not the same as affordable to own. This is the difference in one car. Number 5, the Ford Explorer. This one hurts because the Explorer was recommended last year. Consumer Reports had its blessing and then pulled it on transmission trouble. That reversal is the whole story. A car doesn't lose a recommendation because the reviewers got moody. It loses it because the owner surveys came in worse than the year before, and the data forced their hand. Let me put a real driver on it. A dairy farmer up near Medicine Hat I got to talking with runs an Explorer as the everything vehicle, town runs, hauling a small trailer, the school pickup. Loved it. Right up until the transmission started slipping under load, which is exactly when a farmer can least afford it. His mechanic told him what the survey already knew. This generation has a pattern, and towing puts the heat on the weak spot first. Now, if you find these numbers useful, and you'd rather hear the truth from a mechanic than a sales pitch from a lot, do me one favor and hit that subscribe button. It's free, it keeps this channel in your feed, and it's the one thing that tells the algorithm to show more people the stuff the dealers would rather stayed quiet. Because number 4 is the one that hits the family square in the chest. Number 4, the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, the minivan, the grandkid hauler, the vehicle whose entire job is to be dependable, and it lost its recommendation. The Pacifica Hybrid drew complaints across the board: transmission, powertrain, brakes, and the in-car electronics. That's not one weak component, that's trouble in several systems at once. Here's the comparison that ought to worry you. A plain gas minivan is a simpler machine. Add the hybrid system to a van that already has a lot going on, and you multiply the things that can leave you stranded on the side of the road with the grandkids in back. Brakes on these can be a $600 to $1,200 job, and that's the small one. The powertrain and hybrid faults are the ones that turn into a tow and a week without your only family vehicle. The cruelest part is who buys this. Families that chose it specifically to be safe and reliable, paying extra for the hybrid to save at the pump and getting a repair schedule instead of the peace of mind they paid for. A family hauler has one job. When the data says it can't be trusted to do that job, that's as damning as this list gets, until you see the last 3. Because the final 3 are all cut from the same cloth, from the same maker, with a problem that country still doesn't have a real fix for. Number 3, the Buick Enclave. Buick had a good year overall. It ranked as the most reliable American brand in the whole report, 8th overall, which makes the Enclave the black sheep, because it was the one Buick that scored below average and lost its recommendation. A retired accountant I know in Spokane traded her paid-off older Buick, a car that never once left her stranded, for a shiny new Enclave. Within the first year, the all-wheel drive warning lit up the dash. She took it in. They cleared the code. It came back. That's when she found out this isn't just her car. The Enclave shares a problem with its cousins, an all-wheel drive fault that General Motors, by its own service bulletin, does not yet have a permanent fix for. The drive system, the part that's supposed to be the whole reason you paid for all-wheel drive. An all-wheel drive or drive system repair, when there actually is a fix, runs $2,500 to $4,500, but you can't get the real fix because it doesn't exist yet. You just get the code cleared and the car handed back. She told me the paid-off Buick she traded never gave her a single bad day. This one gave her a warning light nobody can turn off for good. Number 2. The GMC Acadia. The Enclave's corporate cousin, and it scored even worse. Consumer Reports flagged the Acadia as one of the lowest-scoring vehicles in the entire survey. Not one of the worst on this list, one of the worst, period. Owners reported the same spread that sinks a reliability score fastest. Transmission, brakes, power accessories, in-car electronics, and the same family all-wheel drive gremlin. What makes it worse is the timing. This generation of Acadia was a fresh redesign, the kind that's supposed to fix the old car's problems. Instead, the survey says the redesign brought new ones. When a brand new design lands near the bottom of the whole industry, that's not teething. That's a car that shipped before it was ready. Everything the Enclave costs you, the Acadia costs you with a lower score and a worse reputation to sell it back into later. 2 badges, 1 troubled machine underneath. And that brings us to the one at the very bottom. The car General Motors is still selling today, that millions of families trust. With a defect the company admits it can't permanently fix. Number 1. The Chevrolet Traverse. The Traverse is the big family Chevy. 3 rows, room for everybody, the kind of vehicle a family buys to keep for 10 years. It sells in huge numbers, and last year, plenty of people would have told you it was a safe bet. Consumer Reports pulled its recommendation. Owners reported transmission trouble, body hardware problems, electronics glitches, and the noises and leaks that tell you a vehicle wasn't screwed together right. But here's the part that puts it at number 1. The Traverse, along with its Acadia and Enclave cousins, has that all-wheel drive defect, and General Motors, in its own dealer bulletin, admits it does not have a permanent fix. So what did they tell the dealers to do? Clear the fault code and hand the car back to the customer. Sit with that. They know the system is faulty. They don't have a cure. And the instruction to the dealer is to switch off the warning light and send you on your way, as if a light that won't stay off is the problem instead of the thing the light is warning you about. That's the whole reason this audience trusts an old paid-off car over a shiny new one. Not because you're afraid of technology, because you've watched them build cars where the warning light is treated as the malfunction, and the actual malfunction gets a shrug. A family buys the Traverse to be the dependable one. The data says it's the least dependable thing on this entire list, sold with a known defect and a factory instruction to hide the evidence. That's your number 1. 15 cars, and look at what they had in common. Not one of them was too old, not one was worn out. Every single one was brand new, loaded with the latest technology and already failing its owners badly enough that the most trusted name in the business took its blessing away. The badge you trusted for 50 years just got pulled off 15 cars in a single year. And the paid-off car in your driveway, the simple one, the one that starts every morning and never sees the inside of a service bay, was the smart money all along. You weren't being stubborn, you were being right. If this confirmed what you already suspected, go watch the one I made on the 15 brand new cars and trucks rotting on dealer lots right now, because nobody wants them either. It's the new car side of this exact same story, and it's on your screen. Drive the one that's paid for. I'll see you in the next one.